No. I'm gonna leave.
Mom life is the best life. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, you just keep telling yourself that. Hey guys, it is Melissa and welcome back to my channel. I can't say it enough. I so appreciate you guys being here and for your continued support of my videos. It means everything to me. So I want to tell you guys just a couple little things. So you're gonna, like, my filming area will keep changing. And here's the deal. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, because maybe I'll talk about it in the future, but like, I believe in ghosts, but like, I don't really believe them because literally they don't talk to me. Like, I've never had an experience. It's not that I don't think it's possible at all, because I really have heard some stories from people and I'm like, And, you know, I believe in angels, so, I mean, just because that makes me feel better. So, but I've never had an experience until, well, I don't even know what this was, but I had this like crazy experience. We went out and we bought one of those ring lights because I'm a girl and I want to look my best and I wanted this ring light and I felt it made me look better and it doesn't. It's creeping me out. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm going to figure it out. But I'm sitting in my, it's our garage that's been converted. Anyways, I was going to use it as an office. And this room, everyone, all the kids keep saying like that room is creepy and it's cold in there when it shouldn't be because it's completely converted and insulated. And everyone kept saying, and then one of our kids was like, I saw a little girl run down the hallway from that room. And I'm just like, I think you just need more sleep. Like, go eat your breakfast. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to say that they're wrong, but I don't really know. So anyways, I'm in there and I've been recording and I had this moment where I freaked out. I look over my boyfriend and I'm like, the lights are red. And he's like, oh, it's probably your eyes. Like, and I'm like, okay, no, it's like bouncing red. And I have this like whole experience and he's looking at me like, you're crazy. And I'm like, look at the light. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, everything's fine. And I'm like, ugh. So I don't film in that room because I just start to feel eerie while I'm in there, which is totally me being a chicken shit. So anyways, so that's why I keep moving around. So thanks for hanging in with me, guys. And if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Melissa. I'm trying to set a schedule. I think we're going for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but give me a couple weeks to get that set and I will let you guys know for sure. So today I want to do an update on Karlie Guse. But before I do that, I need to address a couple of things with you guys. So this is going to be more like a chit chat video. I'm going to give you guys some updates, but I kind of want to talk to you guys as well because here's the thing. I got so many requests to do another update on Karlie and it means a lot to me to try and help in any way to share this little girl's story so that we can share a picture. But there's a fine line of what I have to figure out for myself. And y'all have to remember, I've only been doing this type of YouTube for 6 weeks now. So I'm still finding my way. And what I figured out so far is that there's like a couple of different ways that true crime videos are done. You have like true documentary style and you have like a drama documentary, which like True Crime Daily. Like I love that channel. Like I watch them religiously. I watch all of their videos. I'm a huge fan. And that's like a produced show. And you've got your news sources, which is going to be CNN and all of them. And you're going to go there and you're going to get up-to-date news information. And then you have the channels, and those are the creators like myself. And there seems to be two different styles. And you have more like storytelling, you know, like you're talking to a friend, and it might be a case that's really popular. It might be a case that hasn't been talked about in a long time, or one that nobody's even heard of. And they just are there just to present that case and raise awareness on that case, or talk about something crazy that happened in it. It's just all about sharing a story and often raising awareness of an unsolved or missing case. And then you have another style, which is more like live and interactive, lots of live videos where people are commenting and chatting and interacting and sharing theories and speculations and getting really involved in the case. So I find value in both. I do, because when you've got somebody telling a story, usually you're getting the back history of a case that's happening, and you're getting to know about the facts, and you're getting to know some theories and kind of what people are saying in the news, and you kind of get like a whole perspective. And then you have the live videos with the live chats, and those get really into details. And that's where you start to hear things that you hadn't heard before, and theories that maybe people hadn't thought about before get brought up. And so I like all of that. So I have to decide for myself where I see myself being. And the one thing I can say is that I don't see myself being over on this side. I see myself being more of a storyteller. And I hate saying the word storyteller because it's like, so you're just telling stories, are you making shit up? No, I mean, just more in the aspect that, like, I'm comfortable talking to the camera and I'm comfortable sharing a case with people. I'm just really uncomfortable with the comments section on any live video. And it's not that I'm not strong enough to deal with it, because if one thing y'all need to know about me, like, it really can't hurt my feelings. I have been through worse, and I've had specifically been targeted heavily online. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. But the thing is that I'm really uncomfortable with some people in the world. I don't like how people treat each other. I was watching, and I'm 99% sure it was the arraignment hearing of Jake Patterson from the Jamie Kloss case. I am pretty sure that's what it was. It was either arraignment or the plea. But anyways, I'm watching, it was a live, and so you could see the live comments that had been posted, and they're heartbreaking. They're mean for no reason. There's like threats of violence against each other. People just say these things to each other that, there's kids that watch my videos, and I am really uncomfortable with not being able to control what gets said in the comments. And I don't want to live a life where I'm in there erasing things and getting moderators, and then I'm collecting money to help pay for this, and that's just not for me. That being said, I totally value those channels and I think they're great. My intention is to just continue to talk about cases and share new cases, old cases, solved cases, unsolved cases. Like, I just want to raise awareness on cases and continue to talk to you guys. That's where I stand on where my channel's going. So that being said, I am going to do this final video on Karlie Guse unless there is new information, something when she is found, when an arrest is made, if something, had somebody had done something to her, when something concrete like that happens, then yes, I will be back. I will make a video. I will talk about it, but I don't want to be involved in ongoing speculation and theories. I just want to make sure that we're talking about the facts and we're raising awareness, and that we stick with that being the most important part of the story. One of the things that got brought up a lot in the comment section of my video was, why does it matter if anyone ever hears that audio? Because obviously it's not going to solve her case. It wasn't recorded at the time that she was going missing. And one reason only, okay? Lindsay, the biological mother of Karlie, thought that the audio specifically included Karlie asking them to call 911. Now, if Dr. Phil had listened to that, and in that audio, we had heard Karlie asking them to call 911 and then refusing, don't you think everyone would be like, that's huge. Oh my God. Hi, she was obviously in distress. What the hell happened? So that is important. And if it went the way that Melissa said it did, and that Karlie was only asking, would you, then that lets you know more about what her state of mind was at that point. So obviously she might be rationally thinking. She's able to say, would you if I need you? So that was important. And the reason it bothered me so much that they held it for so long is because why? If you were right, and this was literally just an audio of Karlie saying, would you call 911 if I needed you to, then why not just clear that up so we can all move on and stop looking at you? That's just, to me, weird. And here's another thing. If it were my child, would I want it to be public? Absolutely not. But you know what I would be doing? I would be playing it for some people who could verify it for me. Because no, I would never put it in a public forum, because once it makes it into a public forum, it's going to make it onto every channel you can find, and it's going to be blasted everywhere. No, I do not think they needed to put it out public. I did not need to hear it. Dr. Phil heard it. Cool, I'm good with it. Now, I will say this though. He only listened to somewhere between 2 to 3 minutes of the 8-minute audio. There are 2. We know that. We already knew there were 2. And we know that one of these is 8 minutes long. And from the audience, they could verify that Dr. Phil only sat there with the headphones to his ear for 2 to 3 minutes. So he did not hear the whole audio. Maybe she said it at a different time in the audio. I don't know. But what I know is that they had this information that could take that focus away, and they didn't give it because why? Why wouldn't you just put that out there and be like, yeah, hello, no, she said, would you? And done, drop that. Don't even talk about it anymore. And we could all move on because that was important. Another thing that is just being really on and on and on about is what was Karlie on that night? And guys, nobody knows, okay? Her boyfriend apparently recently left a comment in the Facebook group saying it was just marijuana. And he seemed to be upset by Melissa over something, and he was like, it was just marijuana. So it appears that the kids really are saying it was just marijuana. So if it was just marijuana, then maybe it was laced, maybe it wasn't. We don't know. And there's a lot of speculation. I'm hearing that devil's lettuce is a term for marijuana. So that's where it stands. Nobody knows. There are speculations that maybe Melissa gave her Xanax, maybe it was fentanyl. I mean, it's all over the place, and that's just way too much speculation, okay? I mean, we honestly don't know. And you might hear that from one source, and then the very next source is like, that's not true. And that's the kind of spot that I've been in, and that's why I'm going to come back with a follow-up when there is factual evidence presented by law enforcement. There was also a ton of speculation regarding Melissa Guse's involvement in the community. Remember, this is a small town, and that she is super good friends with some of the deputies or the patrol officers or all of this. A lot of that has been... See, this is what happens when people start spouting off. They start saying things too soon because then stuff starts getting unconfirmed, so then everything starts to look like it's all a lie and it's all crap. Apparently she is good friends with one of the patrol officers, and she was seen riding around with one of them, but she is not best friends with the sheriff. It's all too much. It's a small town, so they're all going to be linked in together, and that's just kind of what it is. There is some issues of conflict of interest because she's involved in a mortgage company that has something to do with one of the officers. Again, it's a small town. I would assume that they are trying to keep out of conflict of interest, but I think the biggest problem is that they're just not treating Karlie's case the way that it should be treated. And that is my honest opinion. I think there needs to be a lot more done to confirm that morning's information. I think that it should be treated as a crime, and that way they can do what they need to do. A walkthrough of that home and a look at the phones is not enough. I think that they should be involved and they should be digging in deeper. But then again, there have been many cases where we find out that law enforcement is, and the public never knew what was going on. I've also been getting a lot of comments regarding their actual body language on Dr. Phil. And here's where I stand on this, and I've always stood this way on Dr. Phil because I'm a fan. I like the fact that he, covers cases, and I know that some are scripted and some aren't as scripted. So what it is being said is that episode 1 and 2 were completely scripted by their attorneys, and that's why it's not very in depth. That's why they didn't dig in. That's why there's not a lot of information and there's not a lot of questioning. It's very it's. I don't even know how it was 2 days. It literally contained like 5 minutes of information. But the first thing is people are talking about the way that Melissa cried, the way Zac cried, the way that Lindsay didn't cry, and just kind of really trying to figure out. And the thing is I don't get into body language when it comes to something like Dr. Phil. That is an incredibly scripted show. They are up on stage. They're in front of an audience. They've got cameras and lights and everything going on. I don't even know how I do it when the light's in my face sometimes in front of my own camera. If you saw my outtakes, so on it, I just don't really look at that. So maybe they were crying and then they weren't crying, and then they have them clean their face up and they pull themselves together, or maybe they have them cry. I don't know, whatever. I'm not even going to get into that. That's whatever. But there was a big thing about something specific happened when Melissa Guse was talking about the morning she discovered that Karlie was gone. And let me try to explain this. See me? Big, I move my hands with everything, right? So if I'm telling you a memory, so I'm going to tell you naturally with my hands, okay? And my hands are going to go in the direction of like what I'm thinking about. So if I were telling you that I was in a car and I was a passenger and that a car pulled in front of us, do you see how my hand is like in front of us? Like, we're just naturally doing this. Car goes in front of us and we slam on our brakes and I hit the dash. So see how like my hands go this way because I'm hitting the dash forward. It's just like a natural thing that people do. So when Melissa was explaining that they woke up in the morning, if I were going to explain, I woke up in the morning and I looked over and saw my child was gone and I went, my hands up. It's like this natural, like, oh my gosh, or maybe a frantic pulling of the blanket back. I would immediately. But Melissa said that she looked over and went, Karlie, and she pulled her hand back. So there's a lot of people online that are way better than I am at reading body language. And they're very clear that appeared to be a movement like Karlie like tried to wake her up. I'm not an expert on body language. But to me, yeah, it's eerie. Do I think that means for sure? Nope, sure don't. I don't know how many times she said that on stage. I don't know what else they were talking about. I don't know what else was being said. But yeah, because it was very much Karlie. Like she reached out to touch something. And it makes me think that there was a chance that Karlie had passed in the night and that when she woke up, she was panicked because she saw her and touched her and realized that something had happened to her. I pray from the bottom of my heart that is not what happened. This is literally just my opinion. I'm not in charge of prosecuting this case. I just really want to bring awareness. I really want to keep showing her picture and just keep getting the word out there because she's a beautiful little girl. And I can't imagine what the parents are dealing with, all of them. I had a lot of comments about the biological mother, Lindsay. I don't know if this is because I've offended supporters of Melissa, so they're coming after me. I don't know if it's looky-loos from Dr. Phil that don't really know the case. So maybe they're seeing that Lindsay came across as cold and thinking that by any means meant she was involved. But the thing is that Lindsay wasn't there. She was a mother who didn't live in the state. She doesn't appear to have had a lot of financial means. And she was figuring out life. And she left Karlie and her brother in the care with them. And everything was fine. She didn't have any reason to come back and steal Karlie away and pretend this happened. There wasn't any means for that. And there's absolutely no evidence that she was anywhere other than at her home. And that she drove to Bishop as soon as she found out what was going on. There was a comment that somebody said, and I saw this actually on a bunch of other lives, talking about maybe she was texting her mom. She didn't have her phone all night, okay? And there's never been anything to say that Karlie had access to a phone at all that night. So I can't imagine she was making arrangements with somebody. There's no way for her to have made any contact with anyone. If she would have left that morning and got picked up by a friend, this would have had to been pre-arranged. She did not have her phone. She didn't have anything with her. It just doesn't make any sense. And the last thing that I just watched someone else's video that they put up a couple days ago, and they were talking about, Dr. Phil's comment about her possibly being on LSD and fleeing. And they made a really good point that I didn't even think about. If you were to wake up in the morning and you wanted to leave, then you could quietly get out of bed, put on some pants, and go out the front door. But if you woke up in the morning and you panicked and freaked out and needed to get away, then you would jump out of bed and like throw on clothes. And there's no way that Melissa would have slept through that. There's no way, because it wouldn't have been a calm get out of bed. It would have been a freak out. She wouldn't have been calmly going through her drawers and picking out some pants to put on. She would have ran and freaked out, and it would have made loud noise. She probably would have slammed the door. If she went out quietly, making sure not to wake anyone, then that's not a flee. So I do have to tend to agree. It's been long enough. These witnesses need to come forward. They've got to have seen some of these videos. They've got to have seen the Dr. Phil. Where are you? Where are these witnesses? Why are they not speaking up? I don't understand. I just don't. If this were me and I knew that I had literally seen Karlie that morning and I knew that people were making accusations, I would literally be screaming from the rooftop, or, what, actually, as ugly as it's gotten now, I probably would have gone through an attorney or something and had them release my statement, blah, 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 to, acknowledge this, something, say it. Like, who are these witnesses? Because Lindsay even doesn't really seem to know. And the reports are that the witnesses came through Melissa's phone. There was some accusations that the these secret witness tips that were going through the website were going to Zac and Melissa. They have denied that. There's a lot. This case is getting really, really twisted and turned. I guess that's where it comes. Are we raising awareness for a missing girl? Are we trying to get justice for a little girl who was gone? And I think that's what's concerning, because every time we turn around, instead of being able to go forward and focus on a missing girl, it just seems like, wait, is she missing, or did something happen to her and they're not admitting it? And that's frustrating, because how can you help if you don't know for sure that she's actually missing, that she ever really walked out that front door, that she was ever really headed towards the highway? And, we want to help bring awareness, but it's really shitty if everyone's spending their time trying to raise awareness to bring back this little girl, and, somebody knows information that could help, and everyone's like quiet and weirded out, and it's just not a cool place to be. So I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. I'm loving making these videos for you guys. I'm loving talking to you. I'm loving your support, and it means a lot to me. So y'all, do me a favor, go hug your babies, hug your loves, and have a wonderful day, and y'all, talk to you soon.